Second away, criminal.
What is 7? Yeah, are we getting it?
You guys can stay.
You go to the door that other people give up their seats first.
There's only one, you know, I'm a freshman entry, and everyone gives up seats.
Oh, I played 9 games.
It does nothing.
Yeah, I got it when I played
Turn over pre-play.
Yeah, I just had to This is a pre-code female smartphone, except that it doesn't have it's the same thing as that, but it doesn't have data. So it's not really. It's really nice, but I got it from a friend in Australia, like really old, he gets a new one.
I have some superlatives to deliver to you for the first year class, and I hope that you are drunk enough to appreciate them. And if you're not, I'm sure that Max will help you do it right next year. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Sean Howe for setting up the Google document on which we viciously tore each other apart. And as a result, I'm afraid that these superlatives aren't a surprise to us, but you have the lovely visual aid of seeing our reactions on our slideshow. And with that, I suppose it's time to begin with the superlative first years. And our first year is Mr. Henry Scher, who wins the distinguished award of being most likely to be mistaken for a second year. In fact, I think he may have tricked you into letting him be part of your skits. Next up, we have Yoon. Yoon has won the award of being most likely to teach a mugger algebraic topology. In fact, I think we should all try to help with this mugger initiative by keeping a little mathematics in our wallets. Next up, we have Mr. Zeb Connolly. Zeb is he's most likely to disapprove of your tech. We didn't make our presentation in Beamer, we couldn't handle the criticism. Next up I have Mr. Ian Frankel, who is most likely to take you into the forest of mathematics and leave you there to die. Finally I have Koshikawa. Koshikawa is the most likely to be forced to flee the US to go to Japan because of the army of unemployed students that he left behind. Next up I have John. John is most likely to be unemployed because Drenfield refused to write him a rec letter. I'm going to pass on the superlative to Ian, who happens to be most likely to be found hiding in your girlfriend's closet.
That was only once. So next up is Mary, who's the most likely to read the story of the prime member princess to small children at bedtime, or just to herself at any time.
Move out of the projector.
Oh, okay. Next is Shubadip, who is the most likely to ask you, why? Come on! Followed by Danny, who is most likely to use the phrase, well, okay, as a conjunction. Okay, so I spent all morning practicing those impressions. Okay, next is Isabel, who's most likely to teach her calculus section via Skype. And Tori, most likely to be haunted by the squeaking ghosts of mice long dead. I'm pretty sure one of those mice is still pissed that Clark reported all of them. Next we have Wei Yan, who is most likely to have a made-up girlfriend.
This is him voting for that superlative.
Next up, we have Raluca, who is most likely to abandon mathematics for matchmaking. Next we have Jeff. And Jeff is most likely to wind up naked in the Mojave Desert following an intense acid trip at Burning Man, only to discover he saw the generalized Riemann hypothesis and wonder, my God, how did I get here? The next superlative is so bad that whoever wrote it refused to acknowledge writing it. So I'm going to let Tori finish these up.
Next up is Wei. And Wei is most likely not here. Next we have Jingren, who is most likely to be picked out randomly by talkies and thrown out of class. This one is great. We have Paul. Paul has asked his girlfriend Dina if his nipples are normal size. But Paul has been voted most likely to write a one-line thesis. Next, we have a very special person, Clark. The votes that Clark got were for most likely to receive a matching tattoo that says Amy. But you know, when you're really smitten with somebody, you think that everything they do is superlative. So I happen to have a few more superlatives for Clark. I have most likely to deny the existence of his girlfriend, best at misremembering arguments, most likely to make wild extrapolations based on approximately no data, most likely to say that women are biologically predisposed to be less capable than men. Becoming mathematicians. Oh, I have more. Most likely to pose highly inflammatory hypotheses in a manner that implies he believes that they are actually factual. Most likely to be sleeping on the couch tonight. Most likely to claim to be a player. Oh, this one's good. Most likely to claim to be unable to relate to the women who he has not slept with. Most likely to backtrack on extreme claims after effectively losing an argument. And most likely to comment on the contribution of pregnancy to the salary discrepancy between men and women by saying, that's not as much of an obstacle as women just being not as good. And he also might be most likely to deny all of that. And very last but not least is Sean Howe, who is most likely to leave on time.
7:40 already. Did Benson write this?
Yeah.